Hello there, Lynx here, welcome to Katawa Shoujo. We are of course on Rin's route, and now it's the beginning of second act. It was called Disconnect, if I remember correctly. I actually was not looking at the screen because I saw this intro already. But yeah, let's see. It's already 8:30. Yeah, let's say this. But this morning's class has not yet begun. We are supposed to have physics, but the teacher is nowhere to be seen. Had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly the classroom door slams open. Muto grants his morning greeting to us from the doorway. Good morning, everyone. Muto looks like he has not slept at all. The stubble, his messier than normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than favorable impression. I guess he had fun last night at the festival too. Excuse my being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. After all, these sorts of events are important for you all, since they give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with various degrees of enthusiasm, and Muto proceeds to take roll and get started. Right then. Today's subject is a photon particle physics. Before long, I have descended to a comfortable coma-like state, along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, who could tell us the solution to this problem? He's written a rather easy equation on the blackboard. Desperately, he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled down and cornered, I gave him an answer. It causes his shaggy features twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I'm both disturbed and honored by the fact that he can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. Right? Meanwhile, Poland, every single teacher. Okay, prepare a piece of paper that will stand on your desk and write your name there. It will be there for at least a month, maybe even longer. What? No. And that's how you waste paper. I mean, my supposed plate with the name would last one lesson, and it would never be seen again. You don't remember? Well, good. You do remember? Cool. Anyway, from what I've seen, Muto has serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in class, and most of them have been here since the first year. The room settles into a dreary mood, students and teacher alike trying to get back on track after the festival. I figured last week's must have been frantic for everyone. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bell rings. Make way! Important business! I turn my head just to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far and the corridor towards the stairwell. You know what? I think I know. Make way! Important business! It's too late to realize that I'm standing in the middle of the corridor, directly in the face of the oncoming human projectile. I try to skip back towards the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of the second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneously. First, I recognize the girl who is on collision course with me. That's Amy. Second, I realize that it feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Amy once again. I could feel almost comfortably if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Amy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. She crashed into me, but at least the impact was a grazing one on my arm this time. Oh, why does this always happen to me? Gee, I wonder, could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment. The very inside emerges from my lips. But I was in a hurry. I can tell. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Amy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp. The print! Oh no, no, no! What am I going to do? Teacher will give me hell if they get dirty. They're probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Abby tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands back into the orderly stack it was. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular, I guess. Didn't want to be left alone with Buto in the classroom. I think he has a hangover. Have you eaten lunch? Not yet, but I'm not feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth. What do you mean? You should go to the roof. I promised Rin I would eat lunch there. I bet she'd like company. Uh-oh, my lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard to not get drawn along, so I have little choice but to play the ball. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. Amy smiles brightly before I say anything further. No. I'll go and deliver this super quick, and then go buy lunch for us, and Rin too, of course. What kind of bread do you like? No, it's fine. You really don't need to. Don't worry, it's all right. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it. That's what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Amy starts walking down the hall, but since she's still talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going. I won't! Famous last words. She's already jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not so reassuring promise back to me. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along her wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. The stairwell up to the roof is unlit and just as creepy as it was before. Is that so? I mean, I see a lamp over here. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Can someone oil that? Really is there too, like Amy said, lying on her back at the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice, despite that her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow wrapping her face. What you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. Ow! She answers, changing the rationale of my perfectly valid question without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smartass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. I'm trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough. What exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there is probably a reason people don't do whatever. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk with riddles I don't want to puzzle out. But I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things. Like watching the sky. She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes once she focuses them on something is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I would be able to see your panties. If I was a girl, I wouldn't come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense. I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't really want to peek at your panties, for underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you're not a girl. As a guy, I guess I understand that. To us, there's some sort of half mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. Yeah, That's exactly how I think about them too. What a coincidence. It really is. So, did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least I think that what I'm doing doesn't look like what I look like. But from your perspective. What? Probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this. I guess whatever the reason is, it's good as any. Giving in to the tired feeling of my legs, I sit down on the roof next to it. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. What are you waiting for? Try it. I bent my neck backwards to take a look where she's looking. The silvery blue sky, dotted by herds of cloud sheep, fills my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection and lie down my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, force me to keep as still as possible. I try to ignore the discomfort myself, instead concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say to silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of the students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees and traffic, buzzing past the school and, are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, to us no, but it was right. It was probably the longest time I ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kinda impressive. I tried to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think this. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. A cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of time I spent in the hospital, where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I didn't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines, drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it is heading. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It is nice. It's nice, but I understand why this was important going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while. Of course, but... What are you doing? Amy has snuck up on us without either noticing and is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. Are we going to pick up the panties topic again? She leans forwards and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed Rin before. I wonder how weird this looks, the two of us laying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked too. I would be more concerned about what you are doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come close to people who could see your panties. Rin! Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backward, pressing her hands against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she was carrying fall. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at Rin. She pretends not to see me. Hisao isn't like that, right? Right. Emi scrolls the tree and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips little around me to Rin's other side where she sets herself down. Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took so while. That's alright. Thanks for treating me. I pull myself up into a sitting position and grateful I accept the bread Emi is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my stomach. I follow from my corner of my eye the skill with which Rin handles her bread between her feet. I haven't seen you on the track in a few days. Right. I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with. So I've been doing something else? I've been considering my options. She frowns but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Sure. Emi seems pretty headstrong and I wouldn't really want to get pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I have enough burdens to bear with Shizune and Misha already. Yeah, they were such a burden. We barely finished lunch before the bells ring, calling us back to our classrooms. Hit-chan! Misha waves at me as soon as I enter, oh no, and starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom. How's festival? Did you have fun? I'm still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why? Just asking, just asking! Her eyes glint in a way that tells me she's not just asking. I can't even start to guess her motives for. I think she knows. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to plan B. I was there all day with Shi-chan. We had a lot of fun. Weren't you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. I don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at it from here, for the window and the foliage just outside, the sky seems smaller. I catch only small glimpses of blue, everything else is a clutter of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did Rin want out of staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, then I have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English really is not my favorite subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. Fake! Hot afternoon! Light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. Just like that painting. That I know that didn't make any sense. My body feels waved down by it as it dragged down 2 doors down the hallway to the art classroom. Maybe this is part of the reason why I didn't join the class before. Afternoons just aren't suited for activity. Yahos! I have no idea who those people are. What are you carrying there? This guy has headphones, I believe. And this guy is like talking to someone and whatever. Rin by the window. And I'm guessing this might be that blind boy she was talking about, maybe? Anyway, I knock on the door of the art room and open it. A girl who was possibly doing something important with a scroll of paper. Okay. She's getting turns to reckon me and smiles in a sweet, if a bit confused manner. Hello? This is the art club, right? Yep. You interested in joining? Yeah, in fact, I might already have done so, but we'll see. I give her a weak smile, and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous. Great! Have a seat then. We'll start with the teacher when the teacher gets here. Without even scouting the room for a good spot, I walked quickly to the back of the room and set myself on a free seat, apart from everyone else. Oh no, okay, that's someone is sleeping. Okay, cool. I mean, it's fine. A few other members are lounging in their seats, waiting for the teacher. Ren sits alone in the window seat, looking outside. She's the only person here that I know. Oh, a guy I've never really gotten along with from my own class is here too. Who? Nobody else comes to greet me. Maybe interactions are left for later? So I just settle for a silent observation as well. One boy has sunglasses on, and outside indoors, where we not at Yamaku. I'll bet he's the blind student Rino's talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short. Nomiya walks over to stand behind his desk in 3 long strides, then gives a smile and a flamboyant greeting. Good afternoon, everyone! That was Kenji's voice, but... Anyway. First things first, Hisao there is a new member, so everyone get along with him. He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answer his greeting with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention. I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue with those if you like. As for the rest, I was thinking that today we could do some rough studies. How does that sound? Nobody answers except with some unintelligible murmurs, which Nomiya apparently interprets as anonymous approval. Alright then, everyone not working on other projects? Choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another. Please don't do this to me. You should be able to complete this today, but if not, we can continue it the next time, or even do it again if you find it interesting. Remember to pay attention to lightning and shadow, and give it your best. Pairing up, I feel pretty awkward about it. Hardly knowing anyone here, I wish someone would ask me to be their partner. People stand up and move their chairs closer together, but nobody comes to me. Pretty soon, everyone else has paired off. Friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. Well, there is Rin. She's in the furthest corner of the classroom, still staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part in the exercise. Since she's the only other one without a partner, I walk to her seat. I can't see her face, but because her hair is covering most of it and she's looking away from me. Rin. I call out to her, no response. Hey, want to partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledge my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to see who is addressing her. Rin doesn't answer, and I don't want to repeat the question there. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? She doesn't look at my face, and instead stares darkly at my chest and stomach. Oh. Okay, why not? Okay, good, great. I'll get the stuff for us. Looking at the equipment Nomiya has prepared for today's meeting confuses me. Instead of graphite or pencils, we are apparently supposed to do ink sketches. I've never done anything like that before. The teacher, however, seems confident in my ability to adapt to this medium. Simple. First, you do the outlines in ink. You let them dry, and then you shade with the diluted ink. This is called India ink. It works like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead of a brush for the outlines. Got it. I pick up paper, water cups, one pen for me, one brush for Rin, and ink for both of us, then return to Rin. Let's go. Grabbing a vacated chair from nearby, I sit myself directly opposite of her. Do you want me to do it with my foot or my mouth? What did you say? She tilts her head, her brows forming questioning arches, as if she doesn't understand that I didn't understand the question. I don't mind drawing either way. You look better if I do it with my foot for... With the foot then, if it's all the same to you. Nothing else for. Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. In 2 fluid motions, she picks up the paper sheets and drops it on the floor. Then snatches the brush between her toes before sitting on the floor in a weird cross-legged position. Although I've seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, this display of dexterity is so prodigious that I just stare at her stand. Rin contemplates her blank paper intently. The sharp tip of her brush hovers over the paper in anticipation. When she raises her head to see if I'm ready, I quickly turn my face away. I'll go first. Make a pose. Huh? What kind of pose? It doesn't matter. That's the point. You have to make the sketch of the impression you get, not decide beforehand. I end up just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. I look at her, and she looks at me for a moment before beginning. Rin's stare is piercing but impassive, as if she were trying to absorb a part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking under the pressure of her gaze. I get the feeling that for the first time since we met, Rin is actually looking at me instead of in my general direction. She sketches with confident, bold sweeps of the delicate brush, not caring about the potentially destructive consequences of an accidentally misplaced stroke. After she's happy with the outline, she stands up to pose for me, stretching her back and legs. This time, she doesn't look at me. Instead, Rin lets her gaze wander around the room. I'm relieved. It's easier to stare at someone when they aren't staring back at you. Even so, I find it hard to get the sketch going. I'm not especially artistically talented, so I'm scared my portrait will turn into something disfigured, especially when compared to my partner's skill. The question is, what exactly did Rin draw for? Because she might have drawn it the way she was doing mural, right? I don't want to embarrass myself too badly on the first try. Rin is not helping the process either. She then stands still for even 10 seconds, tilting her head from side to side to judge her drawing, biting at her lip, looking unsatisfied, and constantly shifting around like she was on hot coals. I finally managed to make some headway on my sketch, and with my outlines done, we both start inking in the shadow and light. Oh my god. Oh my god! Nomiya passes by and remarks on the beginnings of our sketches. Very good. Standing figure is easier for a beginner to get a grasp of. But I didn't choose the pose. I look at him and then at Rin in confusion, but he's already moving on to the next pair, and Rin seems unresponsive. Just like when she was painting the mural, Rin has become so engrossed with her work that it seems she has shut me, the classroom and the entire world itself out from her own little sphere of existence. Every now and then she leans backward, seemingly to get some perspective. Sometimes she bends forward, leaning down until her nose almost touches the paper. This rocking back and forth looks silly. Suddenly Rin proves she hasn't completely drifted off into a world of her own and speaks. Are you having fun already? She does raise her eyes from drawing, which is a good thing. The breaking of the silence sends a jolt of surprise through me, as if I'd been electrocuted. I don't know yet. It's hard to say. I can hear how she replies to my answer, because it seems she's suddenly having a private whisper conversation with her sketch. I understand how she can draw so well when she has the attention span of a butterfly. Then again, maybe she didn't talk to you, but to the drawing itself. Are you having fun drawing? As it seems she lost her interest, I go back to work on my drawing as well. I try to add texture to Rin's hair, to somehow grasp the way the golden afternoon sun lights her bright red towel aflame and transfer it to my paper in shades of black and grey. The fact that you even can explain this, I wouldn't be. Somehow this pen and the bottle of ink seem like such lousy, inadequate tools for the task. Look at here, Mr. Artist! Minutes pass, but the sketch doesn't magically look any more like Rin than it did before. Her voice wakes me up from my despair. What about now? Excuse me? Are you having fun already? Why do you keep asking that? Because it's a club, right? Clubs are meant to be fun. You join to have fun. Are you having fun? Is it important that I'm having fun? Yes. Okay, I'm having fun. Good. I wonder if I said that just to please her or if I really meant it. I can't really decide which it was. I don't hate this though. I can honestly say that much. It's good enough for now. Hey, I'm having fun. And I'm glad we left the ruins route for the end. So glad. As the allotted time to finish the studies quickly ticks away, I desperately try to improve my awful sketch, but it doesn't seem to get any better. I want to start again from scratch, but what would be the point? There is no time for that either. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. That's it for today. Please stare in the drawings on my desk, and I'll see you all next Monday. Wait, it's once a week or something? Seriously? Better than if I were to try, okay? Way better. I glanced my portrait. It doesn't exactly look like Rin. I guess you could say it portrays her, but that might be a bit generous. Still better than me, if I tried. The nose and jaw looking hideous, and the shading is terrible. Granted, it's my first attempt at drawing with ink, but it's still pretty bad. That's not bad. Huh. She sneaked up behind me while I was lost in thought. Damn it! I was hoping I could smuggle the portrait to the teacher without you seeing it. Why? I'm not really happy with it. I wish I could draw better. You just need some practice. Could you take my drawing to the teacher too? Curious myself about how the sketch turned out, I peeked at the picture. From the way Rin was drawing, it looked like she was really into it. Holy She's something else, okay? It's excellent. Somehow the seemingly arbitrary strokes come together to form an image of my face, from the shape of my chin to the messy hair to the somewhat gloomy expression. Her sketch blows my mind. No. We are not comparing ourselves to anyone. Okay? You are going to say you are amazing. Wow, you're amazing. It's not that amazing. But thanks. I take a closer look at her work. It's still glistening with slowly drying ink. You know, I look kind of grim here. You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree. But it's also true otherwise too. Like this you, not the you I made. I do. I think so at least. Her simple statement makes me suddenly feel incredibly self-conscious. I feel like I need a mirror right now to confirm or debunk Rin. It's a nasty feeling. Maybe it's just her. I hope it's just her, and that I don't look like that sketch to everyone. It's a good sketch, but somehow I get a really oppressive feeling from it. I see. Anyway, it looks really good. You really are amazing. Hey, thanks. I'm glad I could draw you. You are an interesting person. You are an interesting person too, but that didn't help me much. My self-depreciation has no limits today. But Rin ignores it all. I knew that I could never compare, but to see the difference with my own eyes is quite humbling. See, I tried to make you look like you think a lot. Since you did a lot of thinking. And yeah, I might have overdone the fed up with life expression, but cynics are like that, right? I want to retort something snappy, but Nomiya gives me no time to think, ushering us to the door. Hurry up, you two! While we've been chatting, the rest of the club has taken their leave. I quickly pick up our drawings and take them to the teacher's desk, before hurrying after Rin, who has already left the classroom. She's not in the hallway to my surprise. I wonder where she managed to run off to in just a few seconds. Would have been nice to talk more. Well, not that I had much to say except maybe catbug at her for calling me a cynic. It's surprisingly late. I already got used to the school ending at the same time every day, so I can feel the extra hours in my head and my gut. My growling stomach reminds me that I am absolutely ravenous. I'm so hungry that I'd dare to try anything the cafeteria staff has deemed edible. Even when I see today's delicacy, fried mystery lumps, my steel resolve doesn't fade. I stuff the dinner down without tasting it at all, which is probably for the best. I don't have much homework to do, but what little I have won't get done by itself, so I stroll down to the dormitories. Preparing for the post-homework lull, I knock on Kenji's door. He responds from the other side. Although I can't make out what he said, I tried the door, but it's locked. After several seconds, the locks click open and he opens the door. Hey, hi. Hey, could I borrow a book? The library was already closed after I got away from my club meeting. He's squinting even more than usual and his eyebrows are twitching nervously.
Club? That's dangerous, man. Indoctrination, groupthink, brainwashing, you name it. High school clubs sow the seeds of conspiracy. Do you know how many secret societies have grown from high school clubs? Watch your back and don't get too deep into it. You might not come back.
Okay, Kenji, so how about that book? I mean, it could be about conspiracies.
Sure, but return them and don't spoil any of my books. No drinks, no food stains, no bodily fluids. Capiche?
Sure, thanks. Instead of letting me in, he retreats from door, closing it again. After a few seconds, he returns with a stack of 3 thick books and hands them over to me. Opening the topmost one, a familiar emblem stamped on the copyright page greets me. Your books? These are from the school library.
They are mine now.
You stole these.
What are you talking about, man? I've been liberating this from the oppressive feminist movement that controls the library.
Please. Say oppressive feminist movement doesn't mean that poor librarian girl Yuko. She couldn't even oppress a wet towel. Kenji turns away, mumbling something I can't make out, and closes the door behind him. Before going to my own room, I enter the bathroom. While washing my hands, my eyes catch my reflection from the mirror above the sink. I try to look for the grimness rinsing me, but it's just the usual me inside the mirror that stares back. I attempt to tell myself that this is what I've always looked like, but I realize I don't remember what I looked like half a year ago.
What?
I mean, I could just look onto the YouTube. Anyway, let's end it here. We'll continue tomorrow. Hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I wish you a wonderful day. See you. Bye bye.